Hi everyone, my name is Tim and you're all welcome to another edition of Smelly Sweet. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about the brand that I feel is the most overhyped brand in the fragrance world. Now, before I reveal it, I would just like to say when I reveal the brand, don't shut me down at once, just hear me out for a bit. The brand I'm talking about today is Tom Ford. This particular bottle, Tom Ford Ombre Leather, is one of my favorite. It is my favorite from the house, and it is probably makes it to my top 5. I have to sit down one day and do a top 5 or top 10 video because I often refer to that list. So this one, if you have seen this channel before or some episodes before, you might know that when I start sniffing the cap on this one, I usually struggle to stop. So I'm not going to start doing that today because I really love this fragrance. Still, I feel that Tom Ford as a brand is the most overhyped one. Another fragrance that is well loved by the community is Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Now, I said it in my previous episode, I believe it was, that sometimes I just feel that there is too much focus on performance, longevity, projection and stuff like that, and sometimes we just need to lean back and enjoy the fragrance, enjoy the scent. I really do enjoy the scent and the fragrance of this one, but it has a poor longevity. The longevity is around 4 to 5 hours on my skin, and I'm fine with it actually. For me it doesn't disturb me, but so many people I see bitching about other fragrances with poor longevity for in the next episode or in another video talking well about this fragrance without mentioning the poor longevity. That is a reason I feel that this one is overhyped. For instance, we can take Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme. For me, this fragrance, this scent, I really love it. I really feel it gives me some energy. But yet again, you do have a performance longevity of 4 to 5 hours. And so many times when I find people talking about this fragrance, you really hear them bitching. Oh, it's so poor, it's not what it used to be, blah, 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 whatever. Enjoy the scent, ignore the longevity. If you can do that with this fragrance, you can be able to do it with Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme. So that is a reason I feel that Tom Ford is, as a brand, overhyped. If I said overrated at any point, I'm sorry, I don't mean overrated. For me, there is a big difference between overrated and overhyped. Overrated is what people think about the scents. Overhyped is what YouTubers and people in the fragrance communities are doing with a certain fragrance. Another fragrance that is gets a lot of attention is two fragrances actually, Tobacco Vanille and Tobacco Oud. For me, myself, I don't appreciate the tobacco note in those fragrances. I prefer the tobacco note you find in Harrod by Parfum de Marly. Smoother, rounder, not so harsh, not so in your face as Tobacco Vanille is. So, and yet again, that is subjective opinions, and that is, I was hesitating doing this video because Tom Ford fanboys can be hard, can be harsh at you, can come after you if you talk bad about their favorite brand. So that's not what I'm doing. I'm not talking bad about the brand itself. I'm talking bad about other YouTube reviewers, other people just hyping the shit out of a fragrance. And I had to remind myself, why did I start this channel? That was with an intention to help people starting to get in deeper into the fragrance world, to not swallowing everything a YouTube reviewer says. Which leads us to the next fragrance, the latest release, which is Bitter Peach. There were reviews out of that fragrance before it even was officially released. At that point, everybody needs to step on the brake and ask yourself, how did these YouTube reviewers get their hands on a bottle of a high-end brand as Tom Ford and their new releases that hasn't been officially released yet? I don't think that Tom Ford just hands out bottles to left, to right, to YouTube reviewers, at least not those small channels that I found that were talking about that fragrance. No, it is the retailers, it is retail stores, it is discounters on internet and so on that hands out bottles before release, because you need to understand the logistics. Tom Ford has an official release date. Everybody wants it because they know it's going to be well asked for. So the distribution, they started to send it out, and so can those discounters hand out bottles and tell the reviewer, look, we would appreciate if you talk about this fragrance, but don't mention us in this video because we are not allowed to give it away before official release date. But maybe you can mention us in a couple of videos and talk about us a little bit. That is how it works. But that is not the reason why YouTube reviewers were hyping the shit out of that fragrance. That was a totally different reason. The other reason is because they got that as a freebie. They got a bottle of, I don't know how much it cost in dollars, euros, pounds and Swedish krona, where I'm from. But a very pricey fragrance they can talk well about, they can hype it, and they know that people will ask about that decants of that fragrance. And that way they can take ridiculously high price for the decants because they have talked so well about it that people want it even more. More people want to try it before it's officially released, you can say. But then when it came to the masses, to every people out there, then you started to find the real reviews, the real descriptions of the fragrance, being just another fruity fragrance, nothing special to it, not worth the price tag and so on. So that is another reason I feel Tom Ford as a brand is overhyped. And last but not least, we have another fragrance that is called Fucking Fabulous. When I heard that name, when I smelled it, I was expecting a fucking fabulous fragrance. But all I got was a sweet almond fragrance. So nothing special to it, nothing fucking fabulous in that fragrance. Fucking boring maybe, yes, but that is all. So here it was the name of a fragrance that started the hype. And we need to think about the psychological effects of fragrances. Reading the name Fucking Fabulous, you expect something. At this point you need to stop thinking to yourself, is this really fucking fabulous, or is it just a name that is entertaining? That is my take on it. You don't need to agree with me, but it would be much appreciated if you in the comment section down below give which fragrance houses do you think are the most overhyped, and let's start a discussion about them. That would be much appreciated. And if you have stayed this long to this episode and haven't hit the subscribe button, I have to say button because I used to say bottom, which means something else. So hit the subscribe button, give a thumbs up if you like the content. Until the next time, stay safe and be well. Bye!